Yo, what's happening, man? This is your host, Most the Great, Day Late Dollar Short News, man. Tap the like, the share, the subscribe, and all that old good stuff so you be tuned in to the latest and the greatest. Hit the notification bell so you be notified every time this Day Late Dollar Short News vlog drops, and you can tap in and tell a friend, man. You see it? You see it, man. Mike Tomlin, we got to catch a fade, big dog. How you gonna pass up on Sador, man? What going on, man? You understand me? And you gonna get a defensive end, defensive lineman. You know, shout out to Mr. Hammond. I did a video on my boy yesterday, man. And my condolences to his mother. But come on, Mike, baby. You know what I'm saying? Who we got? Randolph over there, man. We let the other two quarterbacks go, Fields and Russell. We let them guys walk off. And now we just, man, we in limbo, man. Hopefully we pick up a QB, man. We got the receivers. We got Pickens over there, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, on today's topic, we are talking about men who entered prison, black men who entered prison and went out on a dishonorable discharge. What I call a dishonorable discharge would be the other side. And what the other side would be is protective custody, a.k.a. SNY. In the county jail, you know, it was PC, protective custody. And before I go into this spiel, man, I got a little story real quick, right? So I'm catching the chain to Wasco. Catching the chain is when, you know, you got a prison sentence and you got to get on the bus and you got to go to, you know, to whatever reception center you're going to, which so happened to be Wasco. And I was sitting next to the big homie Termite from Min City. And it was you know, they keep all the PCs on the back of the bus. They got the blue bands. If you got a blue band in the county back then, you were in protective custody. And sometimes people be in the custody for a variety of different reasons, but I'm going to get into that in a minute, right? So everybody was spitting on people and, you know, woofing on them. And, bitch ass, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. And I turned around to get ready to spit in one of these dudes' face, and the homie grabbed my shoulder and was like, don't do that, don't ever do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what them dudes is up in there for. You know, sometimes you have people, well, you had people back then who were trying to plead insanity. You had people who were on hot meds, people who were triple CMS, you know. It's a host of different reasons why somebody who would be in protective custody. And his explanation to me was, you know, if you didn't have a crimey that went over there to the other side, or you don't know their situation, you know, you don't get involved in that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get yourself unalive for sticking your nose in the business that's not yours, man. And shout out to the big homie Termite, man. Rest in peace. I heard he rest in peace, man. Shout out to him. But anywho, it is deemed back then one of the greatest sins, you know, was to be over there on that side. Today, it's not frowned upon as much as it was back then for certain sections of hood. See, that's the thing with, you know, with black politics. You know, I'm from Bakersfield, California. You know, I know a couple people that been on 50-50 yards, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not no gangbanger, you know what I'm saying? I'm not out here on the streets sliding and riding, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how the homies perceive that, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty lenient on certain people, you know, selective politicking, you know, in every neighborhood. You dig what I'm saying? But I would like to get, you know, we'll say y'all, man, y'all think that if somebody goes over to the other side where there are child molesters, offenders, chomos, excuse me, gotta be politically correct. Once you go over there and you sit with those people, you know, should you be allowed to come back to the neighborhood and still have your same status? You know, because a couple of these dudes on the thumbnail, you know, they was real sliders, you know. The one in the middle, not so much. You know, the one on the end, excuse me, Mr. C-Mac, not so much, man. His enemies said they didn't even know him. They didn't know who he was, you know, and I already did a segment on him, on the gangbangers versus gang members. And he didn't make the gang, he didn't make the cut, man, you know. But the other two dudes, you know, their homies hold them in high regards. So to that I say, you know, how is it going to be back when you get back to the set, you know, to the Hoover, you know, to the 107, you know what I'm saying? Because JAP 5 is in it. They got a new prison called Prisneyland, which is for sure, you know, a bad spot. You know, it's some people who told on and did this and that and the third, and they over there, you know what I'm saying? You know, I could care less. You know what I'm saying? I really don't give a damn about none of that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not about to let nobody tell on me, man, because I'm not about to commit no crimes with nobody. You dig what I'm saying? I ride alone. So I don't have to worry about nobody telling on me, man, which is an important message for the kids. But you'll find yourself in a situation to where you either going PC or you're going general population. And a lot of people have got politicked on and ended up on a PC yard. You know, they really some stand-up solid dudes, but they were scared for some reason or another. Maybe they had been stabbed off a yard a couple of times and came back and got stabbed again and didn't want to lose their life, so they went to the other side. Some people owed gambling debts, you know. They went to the other side. Some people didn't meet the obligation to whatever faction that they represented, and they had to go get pushed to the other side. They might have had to politic on one of their home. They might have got put up in a cell with one of their homeboys and been in the cell with their homeboy for a couple of years, and you know one of their homeboys' number got called, and now you know you're on the other side. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not judging them dudes. My only question is this: like I said, you know, how could you come back from that? It's basically what could you do to come back from that? Because it's two things in the game you could never bounce back from. That's snitching and being a bati boy, a part of the LGBT community. You know, them two things, I don't give a damn what you do. How many motherfuckers you kill and slide and ride for and ride on and do all the stuffery. You still a sucker because you took it up the back door, or you dropped a D-zime on somebody, man. You can't come back from that no matter what you do. You can catch 100 fades, you know what I'm saying? You can stab a dude with 100 blades. You still bad. You did? So, you know, I don't plan on going back up in that jank, you know what I'm saying? But just for the sake of the argument, I was watching Jay Hood's live from last night, and he had a blood dude on there from New York. And I just asked him in the comment section, man, like, hey, how cuz end up over there, you know, with y'all like that, you know? Is he bad people's? Because that's his silly, you know? And his explanation was, you know, he from New York and he don't really trip off the politics like that out here. So he go wherever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, dang, like, New York don't rock like how we rock. They don't, as far as the code goes with people being considered bad because they got sent to a different yard, you know. They were politicking on X-Rated. You know, when X-Rated got out of prison, there was a lot of controversy surrounding him going to a PC yard. I think he was like on the last stretch of his 33 years since. He had already did like 26 years, caught multiple fades, been stabbed and some more stuff. And when he went to the PC, man, that threw all that away for people who consider him to be a garden block Crip rider. You dig what I'm saying? So, and that's another thing, kids, like, you could have did all the stuff. You could have been about all the shit, you know what I'm saying? Sliding and riding for the set, you know what I'm saying? Then caught bodies, you know what I'm saying? And really like that, you know what I'm saying? Really bouncing out, you know what I'm saying? Really bapping niggas' lows. And it only take one mistake, man, and they're going to take all of those accolades away from you. So just remember that, man, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be your own homies that's going to drown you. It's going to be them dudes that drown you, man. But this is your host, Most the Great, Day Late Dollar Short News. We out.